Being a former Marine and having a lot of experience with guarding certain sites, security, and also working with all different types of people in various situations, and also serving my country, I figured, well, what better use to put my skills to that I learned in the military than to continue a career in the law enforcement community, I guess. I wanted to start as a security guard, get my card, learn a whole bunch of stuff about the industry, and eventually move up to perhaps executive protection or something like that. I thought this class was very informative, very well done, and I learned a lot, and I'm glad I took it.
This is going to be a good class, a fun class, a learning class, and that's how we'll keep people involved, because out there we have what I call the online haters. They say it can't be done, you can't trust people. Yes, there are problems with online, that's absolutely true. But the way to solve it is right here. This needs to be a place where people want to be. And if we create that together, we'll do something special. You'll talk to me and ask me questions. And if I don't have an answer for you, I'll find the answer. If I can't find the answer, I'll find someone who's got the answer and have them call you. Either way, if it's not from me today, I'll find you the answer. Crisis management, triggers, crisis points, mediation, negotiation, these are all skills that every one of us should have. Our job, never play cop. More importantly, in terms of liability, never mislead people. The law says you can carry a firearm if you are certified, of course, mace and a baton, those three, that's it. Legally speaking, you leave your toys at home. But in this field, your field notes are legal documents. The notes you put down, what you say in your notes, can be used in a court of law. When in doubt, when you can't figure out what to write, who, what, where, how, when, and if you can do it, why? And by the way, any names of witnesses or people around.
Steve, you mentioned earlier about firearms and stuff, so I wondered if you could go into that and cover some of that ground, what happens in that area.
You mentioned earlier that as a security guard, you want to make your presence known. What are some effective ways of making your presence known without you yourself becoming a target?
I was managing a health club at one time, and I had a situation where one of the members came to me and said, I saw this gentleman breaking into a locker and took a wallet, and that gentleman, as he's speaking, goes running out of it, tries to run out of the health club. Was I able to legally detain that person?
We're going to start with the application for security guard, which is on our board right there, okay? You can fill it out online on your computer. You have to print it. They will not store it on the computer. As far as the live scan, the next piece of paper we're going to fill out.
Well, folks, I want to welcome you today. My name is John DeHonorine. Today I'm going to lecture you or share with you or speak to you regarding personal integrity as it pertains to a life in criminal justice.
Well, thank you, Steve, for that warm introduction, and it's a pleasure for me to be here today. As Steve said, I'm currently teaching at ITT School of Criminal Justice up in Sylmar. I'm teaching Homeland Security. Prior to doing that, I was with the FBI for 14 years working counterterrorism matters, and I responded to many incidents and worked many cases involving loss of American lives and interests. So this is a difference between a typical criminal and an extremist. These folks conduct surveillance ad nauseum. You've done your due diligence.
This is a good exercise called devil's advocate.
Begin your evil plan by looking for more members to join your terrorist cell.
This is what I was thinking. Okay, as bad as the water.
Officers nowadays have to be able to better respond to and recognize those indicators and those actions prior to the incident, so hopefully we can interdict that incident before it actually occurs.
They are biological, nuclear, incendiary, chemical, explosive.
Guns and conventional explosives have so far remained the weapons of choice for most terrorists. Such weapons can cause many casualties and are relatively easy to acquire and use.
Question number 1. What are some likely locations in California that could be targets of terrorist activity? Well, for starters, we live in Hollywood, a media mecca. Acronym, SIM, SIN. Funny word, for safety, isolation, notification. Safety is operational thought. Know your limits. How to recognize a situation. Again, your job is not to identify a specific problem, a specific chemical, a specific anything. Your job is to understand what the clues are. You relay those clues to people who do know what's going on, and they respond accordingly. And keep something in mind. If you're in charge of a building, people with disabilities, some can't hear, some can't move, some can't see. We have to take into account our elderly folks. So when you evacuate, you keep people who aren't as mobile as you in mind, because they're just as important as everybody else.